I still remember the sound. Not the scream, not the explosion, the impact. It was just after 7:30 in the morning, the kind of quiet Texas morning where the air feels heavy but peaceful. No traffic, no voices, just wind moving through tall grass and the distant sound of cattle shifting in the pasture. I was standing on my porch, coffee in hand, watching the sun climb over the hills of my ranch. That's when the sky broke. A deafening roar ripped through the air, so sudden and violent it made me drop my mug. The sound didn't come from the ground. It came from above. I looked up just in time to see a small single-engine plane, tilted at an unnatural angle, spiraling down. For a split second, my brain refused to accept what my eyes were seeing. Then it slammed into the far end of my property. The ground shook hard enough to rattle the windows of my house. Birds exploded out of the trees. Dust shot into the air like a brown cloud. And then, silence. Pure, terrifying silence. I ran. I didn't think about danger. I didn't think about property lines or liability or lawsuits. All I could think was, someone might be dying out there. The crash site was near the western fence, where my land bordered a newer suburban development run by an HOA. I'd never had issues with them before, mostly because my ranch existed long before their beige houses and manicured lawns. By the time I reached the wreckage, smoke was rising from the twisted metal. The plane had snapped a fence post clean in half and skidded to a stop in a shallow ditch. And then I heard it. A voice, weak, shaky, but alive. I rushed forward and found the pilot, middle-aged, bleeding from the forehead, pinned awkwardly in the cockpit. He was conscious, barely, but breathing. "Don't move," I told him, my voice shaking. "Help is coming." I pulled out my phone and called 911. Fire, EMS, sheriff. Within minutes, sirens echoed across the ranch. What I didn't know, what I couldn't have known, was that while I was trying to save a man's life, someone else was dialing the police too. Not because of the crash, but because she was furious. The emergency vehicles arrived fast. Red lights flashing, dust flying, radios crackling. Firefighters moved with urgency. Paramedics stabilized the pilot. Deputies secured the area. Everything was calm, until she arrived. I saw her before I heard her. A middle-aged woman storming across the property line from the HOA side. Phone pressed to her ear, sunglasses on, face twisted in rage. She didn't ask if anyone was hurt. She didn't ask what happened. She marched straight toward a deputy and shouted, "This man needs to be arrested immediately." Every head turned. The deputy blinked. "Ma'am?" She jabbed a finger in my direction. "He allowed an aircraft to crash on his land. That's a federal crime, and it's disturbing the neighborhood." I actually laughed, not because it was funny, but because my brain couldn't process the audacity. "A plane just crashed," I said. "Someone almost died." She whipped around to face me. "I don't care. This is a quiet community. My HOA has strict rules about noise, debris, and unauthorized activity." The firefighters exchanged looks. The paramedic paused mid-motion. The deputy sighed, already tired. "Ma'am," he said calmly, "this is an aviation incident. The FAA has jurisdiction." She cut him off. "I already called the police, and I'm calling my HOA lawyer next. This man's ranch is not zoned for aircraft." I felt anger boiling in my chest. "I don't control the sky," I said. "The plane lost power." She scoffed. "That's what they all say." Then she dropped the line that changed everything. "I have video," she announced proudly. "I recorded the crash, and I recorded him running around without permission." I froze. The deputy raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, you recorded a plane crash?" "Yes," she said smugly. "Evidence." What she didn't realize, what she absolutely didn't know, was that she wasn't the only one recording. Because the FAA was already watching. About an hour later, the ranch was quiet again. The pilot had been airlifted to a trauma center. Fire crews cleared debris. Deputies finished their reports. And then 2 unmarked black SUVs rolled onto my property. No sirens, no lights, just authority. 2 men stepped out wearing FAA jackets. The HOA woman, Karen, noticed them immediately. "Oh, good," she said loudly. "Finally someone competent." She marched over, phone still in hand, confidence radiating off her. "I'm the one who reported this," she said. "This man is operating an illegal airstrip." One of the FAA agents looked at her calmly. "Ma'am, we're not here because of him." Her smile flickered. "We're here because of you." Silence. He continued. "You recorded a federally protected aviation emergency, interfered with rescue operations, and trespassed onto an active crash site." Her face drained of color. "I was documenting," she stammered. "You live-streamed it," the agent said, "including the pilot's injuries." That violates multiple federal statutes. She tried to laugh it off. I'm in an HOA. The agent didn't blink. And this is federal airspace. That's when the disbelief hit her. The anger melted into panic. The confidence collapsed. The FAA agent explained, slowly, clearly, mercilessly. Her video? Automatically flagged. Her call to police? Logged and reviewed. Her interference? Documented by body cams, emergency crews, and aerial monitoring systems. She tried to argue. She tried to blame me. She even tried to threaten legal action. None of it mattered, because when federal law enters the conversation, HOAs disappear. The deputy placed her phone into an evidence bag. She screamed. She cried. She demanded her HOA president be called. The FAA agent simply said, "You should have minded your business." She was issued citations that day, massive ones. Federal fines, civil liability, and a permanent record. Weeks later, I got a letter. The pilot survived. The crash was confirmed as mechanical failure. No fault, no negligence. As for Karen, her HOA fined her for unauthorized recording. Neighbors turned on her, and she sold her house within 6 months. My ranch stayed quiet. The sky stayed open, and every time I hear a plane overhead, I smile, because some lessons come from above.